Hey, it's Nerd Dad Brad, and welcome to Lunch Break Reviews, your weekly bite-sized breakdown of movies, TV, and comics. Every Sunday, I take on one title, dig into what the internet's saying, and then serve up my own take using the lunch break point system, plot, acting, entertainment, visuals, and rewatchability. Whether it's a masterpiece or microwave trash, I'll help you decide if it's worth packing in your lunch tomorrow. Let's see what's in the brown bag of goodness this week. And that is, I'm a little bit late. I got sick and it's just been crazy around my house. So I got to play some catch up this week. So, How to Train Your Dragon. I need to get an episode out on here. So I know I'm late. You're going to get another one of 28 years later tomorrow. So, you'll get my take on that too. All right. Let's talk about the creatives of How to Train Your Dragon. Here's a quick little breakdown of the creatives. Here's also a synopsis. As an ancient threat endangers both Vikings and dragons alike on the Isle of Berk, the friendship between Hiccup, an inventive Viking, and Toothless, a night fury dragon, becomes the key to both species forging a new future together. This is directed and written by Dean DeBlose. He also was the co-director of Lilo and Stitch, animated, and How to Train Your Dragons. Christina Cowell and William Davies. IMDb top 5 stars in the movie are listed below as Mason Thames. He plays Hiccup, known from Black Phone, For All Mankind, and Monster Summer. Nico Parker plays Astrid Dumbo. She's from Dumbo, The Last of Us, and Reminiscence. Gerard Butler plays Stoic. You know him from 300, Law Abiding Citizen, The Phantom of the Opera, and The Bounty Hunter. Nick Frost plays Gobber from The World's End, Paul, Shaun of the Dead, and Attack of the Block. Gabrielle Howard plays Snoutlout from Bodies, Night Sleeper, and The Fence, and those are the IMDb top 5 actors. Okay, this is the taste test. This is going to go over some critic reviews, and I am changing things up with the actual user reviews because I'm going to rate those reviews, and it's going to be fun. So we're going to start off with Joshua Polinsky from In Review Online. From all these reviews are from Rotten Tomatoes, Rotten Score, much like the action delivered in the film's climatic fight sequence. The whole of How to Train Your Dragon drags and loses its way under the strained and failed effort to make everything bigger and bolder. All right. David Chen said from Decoding Everything, there are a handful of ways that the new film improves on, or at least offers a different take on, what the original film was trying to do. In particular, everything involving dragons in this movie looks incredible. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. David Sims from The Atlantic. To my own surprise, I liked the new version of How to Train Your Dragon about as much as I do its ancestor. I like that way of putting that. Both, to me, are above average bits of children's entertainment that struggle with the same problems. And next, I got Linda and Al Lerner, Movies and Shakers. DeBlose with Butler, Thames, and Parker give this new incarnation a lot of heart and make this film a real crowd pleaser with colorful dragons and high-flying action. Plus, with the engaging Toothless, you can really sink your teeth into this film. All right. Shiraz Faruqi from Cinema Debate. How to Train Your Dragon is better than many live-action remakes. Strong visuals, narrative is faithful to the original, and score is great. It suffers from many of the tropes other remakes face, and some performances are weaker than the original. And finally, Nell Minow from Movie Mom. It may be completely unnecessary, but this live-action remake is still a great story. The story is heartwarming, the visuals are exciting, and the themes of courage used for a deeper understanding are still worthy. I like it for the most part. I enjoyed myself on it, and that'll come evident when we do the lunch break point system. But before we can get there, we heard from the critics. Now it's time to get into the viewer and the audience reviews. So here's my disclaimer. These reviews are chosen based on title alone, and I have not read through them beforehand. Let's dive in together. Please excuse any mispronunciations as I read them exactly as they appear, punctuation quirks and all. All right, the first one is a 1-star review from IMDb fan 747531, and it is called A Soulless Copy-Paste 2025 How to Train Your Dragon live action remake is, quite frankly, one of the most unnecessary and uninspired retellings of an already perfect story. This film doesn't just walk in the shadow of the beloved 2010 animated classic, it awkwardly tries to mimic it, scene by scene, line by line, yet completely misses what made the original special. It's like watching a high school stage play of a Broadway hit, technically the same plot, but stripped of all the emotional nuance, wonder, and magic. From the opening minutes, it's painfully obvious that this remake is a shot-for-shot copy of the original, rather than reimagining or reinterpreting the material for new audiences or medium. The filmmakers seem to have opened the original script, made zero meaningful edits, and simply recast the scenes with live actors and awkward CGI dragons. And yet somehow, despite following the exact same blueprint, they managed to drain the soul out of every single moment. The original How to Train Your Dragon was a masterpiece because it had heart. It captured complex emotions like fear, empathy, courage, and growth in a way that resonated with both kids and adults. The bond between Hiccup and Toothless wasn't just cute, it was profound. You could feel their connection. Every scene had purpose. Every visual was alive with color, energy, and soul. This remake, on the other hand, feels sterile. Hiccup, now played by a live-action actor who seems perpetually unsure whether he's in a fantasy epic or a CW teen drama, lacks the charm and vulnerability of his animated counterpart. Astrid is there, and she says the same lines, but the chemistry is missing. The Vikings forgettable. Even Stoic the Vast, who was once a towering, emotionally complex father figure, now just feels like a generic grumpy dad cosplay. And then there's Toothless. Oh, Toothless. One of the most expressive, beloved characters in modern animation has been turned into a CGI creature that looks like it escaped from a PlayStation 4 cutscene in animation. Toothless was full of personality. His subtle head tilts, cat-like movements, and wide eyes told stories without words. In this version, the CGI is so uncanny it's distracting. It's as if they focused more on rendering realistic textures than capturing character. You don't bond with this version of Toothless. You just stare at him detached, wondering why he looks so off. There's no sense of wonder here. The cinematography is flat. The color palette is muted. The flight scenes on once soaring, heart-stopped sequences that define the magic of the original feel weightless and artificial. Even the score, while still beautiful in theory, fails to hit the same emotional highs because the visuals and storytelling simply don't support it. Worst of all, there's no reason for this remake to exist. It adds nothing new, no fresh perspective, no updated themes, no bold direction. It's just a dull, lifeless replica that hopes nostalgia alone will carry it through. But nostalgia isn't enough when the original is still easily accessible and far better in every single way. Remakes can be wonderful when they honor the source while offering something new. This does neither. Instead, it plays like a studio boardroom decision brought to life, safe, predictable, and painfully hollow. If you're a fan of the original, do yourself a favor and skip this. Rewatch the animated trilogy instead. It's still soaring far above this crash-landed mess. Okay, there we go. Let's go through it. We are going to rate this now. And the categories are going to be for dramatic flair, salt content, accuracy, writing style, and any hot takes. We're going to do the same things in lunch break point system 1 through 5. I'm going to give my take on it, and then we're going to go. They said a lot. I disagree with a lot because I think in this day and age, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you change the ending to Lilo and Stitch, it ruins the movie. But if you do almost a shot for shot, I thought it was pretty good. So we're going to start with the dramatic flair. This is, was it over the top, ridiculous, intense? You know what? I'm going to give this straight kind of down the middle, a 2.5 rounded to a 3. And then next would be salt content. How bitter or angry is the reviewer? A salty 1-star rant can be hilarious or exhausting. This one was a little bit exhausting. I am going to go again with a 3 right there in the middle. Next is going to be accuracy. All right, accuracy. Are their points fair? Are they missing the whole point of the movie? Their points are fair. I mean, they just because they don't like it, they have valid reasons why. They're not just saying they didn't like it for no reason. So I'm giving this a 5. Next, the writing style. Is the review coherent and fun to read, or is it a 500-word mess of all caps and no punctuation? Definitely was not. This one was an easier one. I'm going to give this a 4. And finally, hot take factor. Do they offer something original, or are they just echoing the crowd? A spicy, weird, or oddly specific opinion. So in this one here, I'm going to give this a 4. So what this is going to be, we have 6. We have 11. We have 19 points. All right, so 19 is where we're going to score this one, a 19 out of 25. So not bad. Not bad at all. Points were good. It was a little bit long. They did it. It's fine. All right, it's time to move on to the next one. All right, the next one is a 9 out of 10. And from the Lottie Monies, and this is titled Close to Perfection. Warning, spoilers. As a huge fan of How to Train Your Dragon I'm in love with the live action. Normally, I do not really care for live action movies, especially since Disney hasn't been doing great jobs in adapting the animation in live actions. This one, however, takes the crown. DreamWorks yet again shows up Disney in many aspects, and the Mouse Company should take notes. Word for word, scene for scene, this adaptation, it was almost too close to perfect. Of course, there were changes in this version, and I'm sad some iconic lines were not put into it, such as talking fishbone line, but that doesn't take away the beauty this movie has become. The worry many fans had concerning the choices of actors for Astrid is also really well considered in the movie. The storyline is altered slightly to turn the OG movie into a story with many backgrounds, which in my opinion suited the storyline incredibly well. One scene that has been pointed out is the scene after Test Drive. In the animated feature, Hiccup and Toothless sit together while terrible terror dragons show up and want to steal Toothless's fish. This is a key point in the movie for Hiccup to understand that dragons aren't fireproof from the inside. However, the scene was cut from the live adaptation, which I thought was a bit of a bummer. At first, I didn't even notice the scene was cut because the movie was almost one-on-one in similarity. But after watching the movie, I asked myself this question. How did Hiccup know how to defeat the dragon? And then the answer hit me. The scene was deleted. Like I said, it didn't change the amazing story, the movie all in all, but people that may not know the OG animated feature will probably wonder how Hiccup did it. One other detail that I loved is the change in roles every warrior had. In the last fighting scene, Hiccup puts Astrid in charge since she is the best at fighting and strategizing a fight with dragons. They changed this dynamic a little bit, which at first I wondered if it was a good fit, but not quickly after it started to make sense in my head. Of course, I also have to discuss the animation of the dragons, the amazing acting. There wasn't a single moment I thought the interaction between the dragons and actors felt odd or fake. It felt like they were real, and Hiccup was in fact interacting with Toothless. In fact, I prefer to see scenes with only Toothless and Hiccup because that's what made my heart cry. Not only in the animated feature, but also in the live action. The dragons were astonishingly well made. There was no such detail and love put into these dragons, and that's noticeable. I did notice that the animated Toothless had more expressions and that Hiccup and Toothless were more in sync from the beginning in the original. But it also felt real to not fully understand Toothless, because how could a human fully understand a dragon from the first encounter? How to Train Your Dragon has been and will be my all-time favorite animated movie. I was extremely excited, but also worried to see this movie, but boy oh boy was it worth it. Where the OG movie is a 10 out of 10 on perfection, this one is a solid 9 out of 10. I highly suggest you watch this movie and please enjoy every moment of it. This is a change to experience watching the animated feature for the first time again. Just a little bit different. Okay, let's go through it. We're gonna start with the dramatic flair. There wasn't a lot of dramatic flair in this one. I liked it. It's fine. We're gonna go a 3 right down the middle. Next, salt. Was this person salty? No. I think this is good. We're gonna give this a 4. Next, accuracy. Are the points fair? They liked it. I liked it. I agree. Yep, we're gonna give this a 4 as well. Next, writing. Is the review coherent, fun to read? Absolutely. We're gonna give this one a 5. And lastly, hot take factor. They had some. We're gonna give this one a 5 as well. That means we have a total of 21 points. It's gonna be 21 out of 25. All right, I have one more review, and this one here is a straight up 10 out of 10, and is tied from Daniel Trevino -73758. This is how you really do a live action. Take notice. Take notes, mouse. All right, here we go. Long-awaited live-action adaptation of the beloved animated classic How to Train Your Dragon exceeds all expectations. Directed once again by Dean DeBlois and powered by John Powell's unforgettable score, the film stays about 95% true to the original story. A young Viking who forms an unlikely bond with the very creature his parent or people are sworn to destroy. Apparently, words are hard in this one. Highlights. The casting is surprisingly good. I had my doubts about Hiccup and Astrid, but the actors became their characters in the best way. The CGI is epic. Every dragon, from Toothless to the 5-covered monstrous nightmare, looks incredibly realistic and faithful to the animated designs. The music hits hard emotionally. Scenes like the sand drawing, flight training, the romantic flight, the final battle with the alpha dragon are breathtaking. Visually, the landscapes in Viking setting are on another level, rich, immersive, and cinematic. What would I change? Honestly, nothing. This is how live action adaptations should be done. Hollywood finally got it right, unlike certain mouse-owned franchises. Final thoughts. This movie isn't just a tribute, it's a stunning, faithful revival of Burke's magic for a new generation. A must-watch experience on the big screen, and I agree with that 100%. Let's do this. All right, dramatic flair. There wasn't any. We're giving this a 3. Next, we got salt content. How bitter or angry was the reviewer? They weren't, man. So I'm giving this one a straight up 4. Next, we have accuracy. Are there points fair? Absolutely. We're giving this one a 5. Writing style, quick, fun, easy to read. We're giving this a 5. And lastly, hot take factor. You got it. You knocked it out of the park. There's a 5. We have 15. We have 19. We have 22 out of 25 there. All right. We went some good reviews. We did some bad reviews. We went over critic reviews. Now it's time for my review. Let's go ahead and break out the lunch break point system for How to Train Your Dragon. All right, the lunch break point system is a unique lunch-themed rating system designed to help you decide if a movie, TV show, comic, or whatever is worth your time. Each title is scored across 5 key categories: plot, acting, entertainment, visuals, and rewatchability, with a 5 points per category, totaling 25 points. Bonus points can be awarded for standout elements, movie fog, Oscar worthiness, or deducted for major missteps. Think cringe factor. The final score determines if it's a packet or toss it in the trash. A bad lunch could ruin your entire day. And here we go. Let's just start off right away with the plot of the story here. You know the story. We all love the story. It's How to Train Your Dragon. I think they did it justice. Were there some missteps? Sure. I didn't mind Astrid. I didn't have any problem with Astrid. I thought it was very, very clever. I liked how they stayed true to the source material in this. Is it perfect? No. Is it bad? No. We're going to give this a 4. All right, next. Acting. Did they sell it? They really did. It was directed by the same guy that did the animated movies. So I'm giving this a 4 for the acting. Those actors did a great job. All right, so we are at 8 out of 25. Currently, entertainment. Was this worth your time? Yeah. I've watched it twice. So with that being said, it's a good family movie. If you're looking for a good family movie and Disney's not doing great right now, this is your movie. And for that, you are definitely getting a 5. So that's going to bring us up to 13 out of 25 points. Next, the visuals. I saw it in ScreenX at a B&B Theaters, and ScreenX was amazing. There was about, I think there was about a third of the movie was actually in ScreenX. And if you haven't seen a movie in ScreenX, it's 280 degrees of all the visuals around you. It's super, super cool. And because of that, man, it was just cool to see. You think about what it was in the animated and bring it to life. And man, so I'm giving that a 5 as well. We're now at 18 out of 25. And last, here we go. Rewatchability. I've already watched it twice. My kids have seen it like 3 times. For that alone, I'm giving it a 4. 4. So we're going to do 22 out of 25. Any bonus points in there? You know what? I don't think I liked it. I don't think it was. I don't got no bonus points to stick in my head. Bonus. So soundtrack slapping. Oscar worthy acting, instant classic. No bonus, no penalties. We're going to stick it straight at the 22 out of 25. And all right, 0 to 9 be a toss in the trash. 10 to 14 be want to trade your lunch. 15 to 19 is a quick lunch. A 20 to 24 is a packet, and a 25 plus would be a legendary lunch. So this is definitely a packet. Okay, so now that we know that I'm giving this 22 out of 25 points, let's see where I rate it within everybody else. IMDb rates this at an 8.1 out of 10. Metacritic, the meta score is a 61 out of 4, 61 with 43 critic reviews, 7.4 with 103 user reviews. Letterboxd has it at a 4.0 with 1 point out of 5 with 1.3 fans, 1,000 fans. Rotten Tomatoes currently has it at a 77% on the tomato meter and a 98 on the popcorn meter. So I think I am in line pretty good with what the users and what the critics are saying. So there you go. My hot take is to see it in the theater. You're going to like it. I had to take a week off of doing any content on the TikTok, so I'm going to get back on that this next week. I'll try to get pushing some stuff out. So there you go. Here it is. This is the updated lunch break review format. I hope you like it. That's it for today. Lunch break reviews. If you agree, disagree, or just want to shout about it, drop me a comment, tag me, or come grab a seat at the lunch table. I'm always looking for new voices. So if you want to co-host an episode, pitch your pick, or debate the score, my inbox is always open. Don't forget to follow the podcast, leave a 5-star review if you're hungry for more, and check me out on TikTok and YouTube for quick hits using the lunch break point system. Until next time, pack smart, watch well, and I'll see you on the next lunch break. Have a good day. Bye-bye.